Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
I truly can't wait to share this with you and how it changed my life in a very short period of time. This woman's amazing. Get rid of the medications as long as your doctor says it's okay, and listen to what we have to say because it's very impactful. She is a master herbalist. She's Tammie Lowell from Oyate Herbals. She's back with us. Hey, Tammie, how are you?
I'm doing great. Glad to hear you're getting better. This is awesome.
So here's my story.
Okay.
And I've told others this story as well. It was about a week and a half ago-ish that I contacted you, and I have an ulcer. It was diagnosed in 2016. Stressful situations, it kicks up. It kicked up like really bad, to the point where I was feeling just not even just pain, but I was feeling now I was getting reflux. And then it was like I couldn't even swallow. All issues going on related to the reflux that you wouldn't even think are reflux. It was bad. I'm going to tell you, it was bad. I even suspect it may be crossing over to a bleeding ulcer. So we talk. You tell me drink aloe vera juice with the pulp. So I got that. And you made up some concoction, a tincture that I put under my tongue and then would swallow it. I'm not exaggerating. In a day, I started feeling major relief. In 2-3 days, it's like it didn't even happen, didn't exist. Ulcer gone. And every once in a while, I'll in the last week or so, I'll eat something. I was like, wow, little discomfort, nothing major. And I just do the tincture, goes away, fine. I have been taking Nexium on and off for years, and I haven't taken it in days. Oh, by the way, I was also taking a tea. I was making this tea that you gave me, I bought from you. And that was, maybe that made a difference as well, because I was doing that every morning. I'm telling you, like, it's a week. That's it. In days, 2 days, it was gone. I'm going to be honest and say there was a point there I was feeling like I may even have to go to the hospital. I don't know how, what is going on here. I made appointments, to get scoped both ways, which, I'll keep down the road there. Amazing. Share what the heck, I told everybody I'm ingesting catnip. Catnip.
You are. Yeah, you are.
Like
you
real
are.
catnip?
Real catnip, the actual plant catnip. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
It is amazing for stomach disorders. Well, what it does is it relaxes a lot of the muscles that's inside of the stomach in the lining. What it does in it. So when that acid starts coming in, you've got all of the, the stuff going on in the guts. So basically an ulcer is an overacid condition. It irritates the wall of the stomach, and then it causes irritation. Well, that irritation can absolutely push into bleeding. People have them. You can get them up to the size. I've known people who've had, ulcers the size of quarters. They kind of range them at different, millimeters, diameters. There are some physicians that'll be like, because a lot of people don't understand. Okay, it's the size of a dime. It's the size of a nickel. It's the size of a quarter, 50-cent piece. And they can be very dangerous. People have bled to death that, internally because of very large ulcers. Now, ulcers do not show blood like red. So if you have black or bloody stools, that is where you're going to be showing that. If it's really big, it could, but the blood obviously digests, so it shows up black in your stools. That is not a good thing. That means you have a bleeding ulcer. That means you've got issues, or if you're vomiting, that color, same difference. It doesn't matter. So what after that happens is usually the reflux. It causes issues with the little flap. And like I said, I'm trying to use layman's terms as much as possible. That little flap that keeps the acid from coming up into the esophagus gets weak. And that can be caused by a lot of different things. That can be caused by a lot of times nicotine, alcohol, different foods, spicy things. That can cause that to be weak just in general. But when you have an ulcer, of course, those acids, it makes it worse. So then you lay down or you eat something. Well, that acid flares up, Well, then the ulcer flares up and then everything comes up into the esophagus, and then you start getting issues there. That's where the reflux and the heartburn and the discomfort in the chest starts coming in. That's where your Nexium was it was coating that to keep that from helping. So everything that you were doing was basically band-aiding everything. So it wasn't healing. So when you contacted me, I was absolutely like, oh no, aloe vera juice. Aloe vera is one of the major things that, I mean, it's my go-to. I don't know how many people have called me up. I'm like, go get aloe vera juice with pulp, and make sure it has the pulp, because it makes a difference, because it digests slower. So that way it's able to do that healing. Aloe vera heals ulcers very quickly. It also helps soothe. So the tincture that I sent you was marshmallow root, catnip, and cat's claw. So marshmallow root does the same thing that Nexium does. It helps coat that esophagus and go down, and it has several other major properties, but I'm trying to use tell you what we did just specifically for you. Catnip, like I said, relaxes. Cat's claw has been known for centuries to help heal and deal with the discomfort of Crohn's disease, colitis, irritable bowel syndromes. It does things all the way down into the intestines. So we worked it all directions is what we did. And in theory, I still want you to keep taking that, because, that's what people do with herbs a lot of times, or with any type of medicine. They take it for a few and, oh, I feel better. And then they stop. No. We're still in that healing process. We're still working that. We want to fix it. That's what I do. I don't want a Band-Aid. Nexium Band-Aids. Yeah. Aloe vera heals.
And it's so funny that I had, company over, explained this, and I said, yeah, try to eat aloe vera juice. It's great. It's delicious. The one I found, and there's another. I found one in a pharmacy, well-known pharmacy, CVS, that it's like a jug. It has really no flavor, and you can add it to something else, and it says it has micropulp and blah, blah, blah. I picked it up anyway. It was like $12, whatever. Right. But the stuff I did find, it's a little pricey, but got the job done. Very pulpy, very pulpy.
Good.
Flavored with grape, like natural grape extract. 40 calories in a glass, and it's delicious. Like, people's like, give me some more of that. That's so good. And that, that brings me to another point. I told this to somebody, and they said, oh, well, it's got to be expensive. I mean, why? I checked into a Chinese herbalist, and whoa, yeah, no. I would pay 5 times what I was going through. It was like, so I didn't even know what I paid. It was like minimal, and the tea, it was like $50 for the tea and the tincture. So well worth it. The tea lasts a long time. I'm not even a quarter into the tincture. Right. And yeah, I do use it. By the way, I expected to taste god awful. And that stuff doesn't bother me. I would still take it. It's great. It's delicious. I'm not even kidding. I was surprised. Yeah.
Well, I've moved over to nothing but glycerite tinctures instead of alcohol tinctures, which makes a huge difference. Oh. Alcohol really just is so pungent that, it almost enhances that herb taste, the earthy root herb taste. And realistically, I mean, after doing this for 40 years, it tastes better. My clients that are, alcoholics or drug addicts or things like that, they're not triggered by it. Like, we need, extra alcohol when we're trying to heal in our system, because it breaks the body down, and Lakota standards, we find it to be a very dissonant energy. It's not a positive energy. There's scientists that have tested different types of energy. So alcohol, all that. So I've moved away. I don't carry any alcohol tinctures whatsoever. I also don't carry any capsules, which we've talked in the past, because it just doesn't, you just lose absorbency. So I use 1-to-3 ratios of the herb, and other herbalists will understand what that means. A lot of people won't, but basically it's 1 part herb, 3 parts, the vegetable glycerin.
Okay. And I
Yeah.
can't
So
imagine
it's kinda,
like the alcohol, it's got to have even a little bite to it,
it
just
does.
yeah.
And it burns. It burns.
And it
It's
burns.
nasty. It is, and the tea that you got was called Calming the Storm. And it has several different, it has some other things in there that I knew that would probably help enhance that tincture on when you weren't taking it, like licorice root. Licorice helps coat.
Mm.
It doesn't coat as good as marshmallow root, but it does help and it's good for the stomach. It also has some more cat's claw in it, so we're still working with that digestive system to rebalance that out. So it's got it's got a little bit of that ginger in it, because we had talked about ginger when you called, and ginger didn't seem to really be doing what it wanted it to do. But I thought, in that tea, just a touch to just cut that acid and maybe stop a little nausea. So it was really that extra that I wanted to add in there without it being strong. Let it be minimal. Let it just kind of work in the background with and enhance what we were already doing.
Amazing. Like honestly, I expected it to probably work because you're a genius.
No, well,
Um,
I don't know about that.
you know what you're doing. Um,
Yes.
but I didn't
Yeah.
expect it to work because I can be honest, it was pretty severe at the point that I had called you that fast, really that fast.
I'm impressed with your results. There are times where I have had people that it's taken up to 2 weeks to start working, but it depends on how long they waited. Have you been dealing with this situation for 3 or 4 months? It seemed
Yes,
like yeah.
it
But
was.
when did this discomfort really start? I mean, when did it really start bothering you before you reached out to me? So that's kind of makes a big difference with people. I mean, if you let something go for a long period of time, it's going to take us a little longer to help, get the body to heal it, or heal it up. Just because you've allowed the damage to get bad.
Yeah. And I didn't radically change my diet. Probably should look a little closer at stuff, but I'm good at the moment. But I have to tell you, even the reflux symptoms, I had like a weird feeling in my neck. We even went to the doctor and ENT looking at it. Somebody told me, oh yeah, I've had that swallowing issue, and just it's anxiety,
Yeah.
it's stress. It's like, really? Okay. They found nothing. I even got sonograms like that, nothing. And it
Mhm.
was just that's the amazing part about reflux ulcer. It it presents itself in many different ways. Like I could have a pain in my back. Like, what is that? Oh,
Right.
that's the ulcer. Same thing with the reflux I'm describing. Like, wow, like this is like
Yeah.
weird over here, not here, like
Yeah.
all gone.
It's
Maybe every once in
starting
a while I
to,
get
yeah, it does. What happens is it irritates all the way up. I mean, to the point to where people have had esophagitis cancer. I mean, it can cause major issues with a lot of your body. It can burn so bad. I have known people that have let this go. The acid has burnt so bad into their esophagus, and your esophagus and your airway run right next to each other. You've got those two, and they're very close. That is burnt through and is now irritating the upper respiratory and the lung problems. A lot of people are like, oh, well, it's now I'm having lung issues. Well, it's because it's the wall is thinning of the esophagus, and it could be causing and radiating through into the lung area, into your airway. Mm-hmm.
wow.
So these are things that people need to be aware of. And prevention. I mean, I talk about prevention all the time. I mean, it's great to go out. I mean, I cheat, I eat organically, I take my vitamins, I do my herbals, I eat healthy. But you know what? There are times where it's like, hey, you know what? I want a bowl of ice cream, you know?
That
And
funny you should say that. Okay. Um, I I never, I can eat pretty much anything, no issues. And this summer, eating, and it happens to a lot of people when they get older, uh, eating dairy. Like I had pizza over the summer, and for the first time, and like almost instant, like, whoa, that's maybe it was bad pizza. Tried another slice a couple of weeks later. Same thing. So kind of let it go. All right, whatever. Saturday, I was like, I'm having ice cream. It was like 9 o'clock at night. I ordered it, had it delivered, and I had just like, that's not, it was good, but it was not sitting the same way. So I think I have a, sensitivity to dairy. I could have a cheese stick and it not bother me, but more volume of cheese or
Right.
dairy will do it.
Yeah. A lot of it also is probably because it's not cheese and it's not real milk. It's cheese-like substances that are genetically modified. The milk, is treated with growth hormones. So, I mean, a lot of what we're reacting to isn't actually the food sometimes, it's the chemicals that's inside of it. So, like I said, yeah, I want a bowl of ice cream. Well, okay, I go and then I spend 20 minutes in the store trying to find the best alternative. Okay, if I'm going to cheat, how do I want this repercussion? Because my body is very clean. So when I cheat, I get that. I get those type of things. It's like, I know it, so it's like, all right, so the white processed sugars, the chemicals, the genetically modified foods, that's what's causing a lot of our bodies and the cancers and all of this other stuff, that makes a huge difference. When we were, back and we were, using going out and milking the cow and skimming the cream off and making butter and drinking the milk, we didn't have the problems. It's that, I mean, almost every cow nowadays in a dairy is treated with growth hormones. Trust me, my ex-husband and I, many, many years ago, when I was in my 20s, worked at a dairy, and they would shoot those cows up in a heartbeat. And this was in my 20s. This was a long time ago. So we've been eating this stuff and ingesting it. I was always allergic to milk from the time I was a little girl. Most of my kids, dairy is not a friend to anybody in my family.
Wow.
But I could take, before they would treat these cows, the ones that weren't treated. He had the rancher had certain cows that was just for the ranchers, that was not the dairy cows, because they knew. I'd take and I'd get cream this much, I'd skim it off, I'd make butter off of it, and I could drink that, and I didn't get congested. I didn't have issues. It's the chemicals that's killing us.
It's like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But then part of me is, because I didn't know it goes that far back. That's horrible. That's horrible.
It does. Yeah. I was in my early 20s. I remember the kids were little, and it was a dairy job out east of Colorado. And yeah, I couldn't believe how much they called it just a milk enhancer shot.
Yeah. Bigger cows produce more milk.
Yeah.
Bigger cows produce more meat.
It would make the cows produce more milk because they needed to make their quota. And this is a teeny tiny little dairy that might have had maybe 1,500 cows. I mean, that's a small dairy compared to what a lot of the larger dairies are, the bigger dairies. Yeah.
Wow. Even 1,500 sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's for a dairy, that's a smaller dairy. I mean, but yeah. And there was only, at that time, you'd have 1,500 cattle, but there was only a few of them that would be milked on a regular basis, his best producers. But boy, he didn't have any problems. Yep, those girls weren't producing. That's it. They got a shot. I mean, they didn't go down to every one of them, but the ones that started lower milk production, yep, they got a shot.
Unreal.
I know, it's crazy.
We've talked about anxiety before. It's a big deal nowadays. A lot of people dealing with it. It's a lot of stress and such. You've made some suggestions. Like, I even have my, and I don't have anxiety. I really don't. I mean, we all have anxiety, little levels here and there.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's life. Life is stressful nowadays. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Not major. Like, I have friends that I don't take any medication, but I have friends that deal with it. And I know, I mean, even just, I have this from you, the stress and anxiety relief in a tincture. For somebody that has a lot of anxiety, maybe they're taking meds, whatever it might be, what would your go-to be? Would it be that, this organic
That would
stress
be
inducing?
my start. It depends if the person is diagnosed with like anxiety, depression, PTSD. Where is the source? I look at the source of where the anxiety is coming from. If it's just work related, home related, things like that, what you're taking is amazing. It works, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I like that. That's better than my glass of wine at night." Healthier too, so
Okay.
a lot of people turn to alcohol for that relaxation, where I tell everybody, no matter what, put ashwagandha or rhodiola in your life, if you're that type of a person, because they're adaptogen herbs, and it just helps the body actually adapt to whatever stressors you're dealing with. So it works with the body. It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't reduce the stressors. Realistically, I mean, it can help with sleep. It can help with some other things, because they have, herbs have a wide array of uses. But put that adaptogen herb in there with anything you're doing, because it helps adapt. You adapt to your environment. So that's on a milder case, like we had talked about. On higher cases, I would really like to sit down with them and talk with them. One, I need to know what type of prescription medications there's on, because a lot of the stronger, more evasive herbs, something that's really going to start shifting some of those chemicals around so the body can do what it needs to do, will obviously either enhance that medical or that medicine, from your physician, or it could counter it out. And I don't want to do either one of those, because a lot of those IAMO inhibitors are GABA enhancers, things like that works with the chemicals of the brain. That's why I don't want to really be specific with it, because I don't want anybody running out and going, "Oh, I'm going to go buy this and I want to use this." And no, call me. Call
Gotcha.
me before you do
Well, you know
that.
what? That same, goes right back to when I called you. So
Yeah.
you heard what I said.
Mhm.
You even said that somebody in your family was dealing with what I was dealing with.
Yeah.
And you're like, I got it. Hang on. All right, no problem. Send my credit card, done.
Right.
But I felt even better knowing that we chatted, because you had a better bearing on what the symptoms were and what I was dealing with.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, we're all individuals, and to be able to talk with that person, even over the phone, I'm able to connect with you and figure out what we've got going on. There's certain questions that me and you can't always cover on the shows, that people have individually. The different medications. It could just be something simple. I've talked to some people, and I've literally went, "You know what? I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I could sell you $80 worth of product, but change your diet." Just change your diet first. I
Yeah.
mean, let's go ahead and change your diet here, and then let's add this stuff. And if this doesn't work, then we'll add something else. I'm somebody who wants to start small. Less is more when it comes to herbals. It really is. But
You
once
even said, I just, something popped in my head. And we have like literally 30 seconds, but in our conversation from, week and a half, two, whatever ago, I said, yeah, you know what? Here's what I eat. Occasionally I have a beer. I like craft beer. I'm just like, me and my friends just love, I don't drink a lot. Like I'm too, whatever. But I like different flavors, whatever. And then I think I said, yeah, pumpkin beer. It's like, this time of the year is my favorite. And you're like, with the spice. The reason I'm bringing this up, things were better. And I went out and played, um, it's called Top Golf. I don't play golf, but I was like, we all got together, whatever. And they still had pumpkin beer on tap. I'm like, have one of those. What the heck? I'm feeling better. As soon as I had it, I started feeling like, stomach or ulcer. Not a fan of that. And you said all those types of beers, with especially pumpkin, with the extra spices, are not going to be good. And you were right on point.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah, we found your trigger. And that's the thing. When people call me, that's it. There's usually a trigger point,
Yeah.
and when we do my phytotherapy intakes for people, that's really, really having a lot of issues, I go through that. I go through your ethnic background. I go through the foods. I go through your exercise. I go through everything. So that way we can kind of narrow this down. One, and I need to know how willing you are to, commit to this. because it's like, okay, if you're very willing to commit, boom, let's do this. We're down. If you're not that willing, then I know what else I can give, so it really is an individual thing.
Yeah,
but
it really
it's huge for somebody to contact me. Yeah.
And good luck contacting your doctor and getting some quality time with them in today's healthcare situation. That's all I'm going to say.
I spent 4 hours trying to just get through and get a new eye appointment 2 days ago. 4 hours between the insurance and them and figuring it out. It's like, where has all of this respect and common courtesy and all of this gone?
Horrible.
I know me as who I am. And if you call me, you're going to get my undivided attention. You're going to get my time, and you're going to get my expert advice.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm going to guide you down that road. So
nothing like it on the planet. I will be putting it. I'm going to put it on my social media channels and everything about you, because you're just
Steve,
incredible. And it wasn't a fluke, because it didn't like go away and then come back another day. It did when I had that pumpkin beer a little bit. My bad. Yeah. Now I know. Yeah. Thanks to you.
And if you just keep doing what I've recommended, you're going to be great. And you won't have to worry about all of those other stuff. You'll just, your body will do what it needs to do.
Oyate Herbals, Oyate Herbals.com is the website. Start the conversation, start healing, start feeling better for whatever ails you. I know it's a cliche, whatever ails you. You've got something for that. And it doesn't have to be a medication. It's something that's been around, natural, organic, for centuries. They've been this is how we heal.
There's no stupid question. Please don't reach out. There is not. I always look at it that way. No stupid questions. Call me, talk to me.
And this is medicine. That's the other thing. This is medicine. It's not just, taking a weed, a flower or something. It is medicine, just like the medicine your doctor prescribed. The only difference is it's natural. It's been around forever, and it's been proven. Tammie, thank you so much. Truly appreciate it.
You're welcome. Stay in touch. Let me know how your progress goes, and you have a beautiful day.
You too. My stomach thanks you too.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.